I'm thinking we get to keep our salmon. Not because I walked down the island, but because every one of you showed up. Because Gail Shea and the rest of them are immune to me. That's a fact. I don't have much to say to you because my feeling is it's over to you now. I know each one of you is going to go back to your homes and you're going to write a letter and you're going to email both your members of parliament, your MLA, Harper, Gordon Campbell, I suppose, and anyone else who you think might be running the show here, because what is going on is berserk. How we got convinced that it was okay to let these Norwegian companies come in and put fish in pens and tell us we couldn't go near them. And they vaccinate their fish and say it'll be okay. But it's not okay for our fish. I have spent 10 years looking exactly at what their farms do to our fish. And as I said in the previous spot, people and salmon can live together. We know that. It's been proven because 10,000 years ago, when the ice receded from this continent, the First Nations people and the salmon came together into a hostile land, and they thrived together.
There was a prophecy that the time would come when the four races of mankind would come from the four directions, and they would come together because Mother Earth was in peril. And I absolutely believe that that time is upon us now. And it's that intuition that has brought us from many different places, from all points of the compass, from out of the comfort of our homes and our families, that has brought us here today to serve notice on the provincial government, on the government of Canada, on the Norwegian corporations, and those other corporations that are wreaking havoc in the pristine waters along the coast and imposing their absolutely toxic and repugnant fish farming industry on us. And the only motive, let's be clear, the only motive is corporate greed and profit and the interest of the shareholders.
That's right!
And let's also be clear, this is not a labor-intensive industry. It's becoming more mechanized as each and every day goes on. So it's a bunch of bogus crap that the fish farm industry has been peddling now for quite some time. And I am so encouraged that we have all come together and we have all stood up and we have all declared here today and tomorrow and from this point forward that enough of this BS, and that we're going to continue to harness our collective energies and push back that global economic agenda that is so destructive, not only the fish farms, but the mining industry, Taziko Mines and the Prosperity Mine, the Enbridge pipeline proposal up north. Not to mention running the river project so-called and the Site C dam proposal. So it's time for us to send a message, a clear message, a strong message to the pension-laden MPs that are responsible for appointing somebody as irresponsible as Gail Shea as the fisheries minister.
We're so disappointed in the minister, Minister Shea,
as we've been disappointed in the provincial ministers when they had this file. None of them have come up to the Broughton Archipelago or to Clayoquot or any place where there's independent sampling done. And I think you all know now that in the Broughton that there's something like 75% of the wild salmon fry have one or more lice on them, so their slicing program is not working. And you know, the reason I'm standing here today is because I went there. I was told by our operators in 2005, go up to the Broughton and see it. Meet Alexandra Morton, go with the sampling people and see it for yourself. And there's nothing like going up to the Broughton and seeing it for yourself and seeing the wild fry dying. So one of the things I wanted to say and I wanted to speak out on was we've asked the minister to do that. We've asked the minister to come up and see what's happening to the fry from the farm. See it with their own eyes. Because they all tell us they don't have the evidence. She has never done that. And that's a shame.
Whenever you talk to any government, you talk to a fish farm, you know, the denial machine is in full force. You talk to the provincial government, it's always about denial. I felt like I was talking to Marine Harvest. I talked to Canada, DFO, I felt like I was talking to Marine Harvest. It didn't make any difference. They were the same thing. And they have forgotten who they serve.
Right!
I think they need to remember that they serve you, the voters. As my good friend Bob Chamberlain says, the only thing more sacred to the politicians is your vote. And I think they need to remember that. They remember that with that vote comes the service of those people. They talk of jobs. They say that jobs from fish farms feed families. And when I look at the First Nations up in the Fraser who don't get any salmon, impoverishment and all the social problems, unemployment, and their main food is salmon. So who's going to feed them? Certainly not the fish farm companies. When you take a look at all our environment, it is all connected to the salmon. All our forests are connected to the salmon. All the bears, all the eagles, the wolves. I think we need to remember that the fish farm is not going to feed our eagles, our bears, our wolves in our forests.
Now, when we talk about lies and BS and so on, our operators see for themselves exactly what's happening. We go out there and we see the fry when they come out of the rivers and the creeks with no lice on them. We see the fry as they approach the farms, increasing lice loads, and we see the fry after they leave the farms dying. We see this not just in the Broughton Archipelago, we see it in Clayoquot, we see it in the Discovery Narrows, we see it everywhere in BC. There are farms and the small fry are dying. The farms generate billions of sea lice. They just have to do the math on the lice counts that they leave on their farm fish.
You know, the corporations, this Marine Harvest Corporation, Cermak, and Grieg, all they care about is profit, and that will never end. You know, the only thing that keeps growing to its own detriment is cancer. And we need to remove this cancer from our coast.
I am a salmon swimming up a stream. I am a salmon swimming up a stream.